Hey, what is up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. So a few pieces of news that I want to briefly touch on in this video, and be sure to stay tuned for the end of this video because I have some big news regarding the Bob Lazar interview. So be sure to stay tuned, don't click off this video. So as usual, there's a lot of things happening around the world. Of course, the most important, the news story that most of you have been hearing about all day, that of course is the massive earthquake that occurred in Alaska with a magnitude of 7.0 to 7.2 according to the U.S. Geological Survey, that occurred just 8 miles from Anchorage, Alaska at around 8:30 a.m. local time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Videos of the destruction began flooding social media, showing students taking shelter under desks, grocery store items knocked off the shelves. I mean, these are extremely frightening videos. Governor Bill Walker issued a declaration of disaster after what they called the, quote, major earthquake, along with talks with the White House. Major infrastructure damage across Anchorage. People being told to stay off the roads, seek safe shelter. And from everyone I've spoken to, I mean, this just obviously came out of nowhere, but it's not the norm in Alaska. I mean, Alaska, I think the last large earthquake that they had in this magnitude, there was a 7.9 magnitude back in 2014, a 7.1 in 2007, and of course, some of the bigger ones, a 9.2 back in 1964, and even a 7.9 back on January 23rd of this year. So Alaska does have its fair share of earthquakes. But what a lot of people thought strange about this was that this occurred right after that strange humming event occurred underneath the earth, which we covered in yesterday's video. The link to which I'll put at the end of this and down below if you haven't seen that yet. But in that video, we were talking about how back on November 11th, seismometers across the earth picked up this extremely low frequency, what they called a hum, that wasn't quite an earthquake. But whatever it was, they really don't know. They're still trying to figure it out. They've described it as something, quote, quite new. And it originated from an island known as Mayotte. And so, you know, having just posted that video last night, and then what occurred in Alaska this morning, a lot of people are wondering, is there a correlation? And if anything, is this just more evidence that something is happening deep below the Earth's crust? And are we going to be seeing more of these earthquakes? Now, apparently there was a sort of a false rumor that started circulating after the earthquake hit Alaska, and that there was actually going to be a larger earthquake. Some even predicted that a larger quake was going to hit in the same area. Now, these rumors were quickly dispelled, or at least responded to, as being false. One of those coming from the Alaska Earthquake Center on Twitter, who posted in a message from Mike West, Alaska's state seismologist, concerning these so-called false rumors of a predicted larger earthquake, who said, quote, "There are a lot of rumors, especially out here in social media land, about a very specific large aftershock that some people have predicted, including a time frame. This rumor is entirely unfounded. What we do know is that aftershocks will continue for quite some time. They will generally be smaller than what was felt this morning, and as time goes on, their rate of occurrence will decrease. Anytime an earthquake of this size occurs, there is a low but non-zero chance that another earthquake of similar or larger size could occur. That is true this time as well. However, detailed rumors about any particular earthquake are simply not true." And so I will put some links down below. One of them describes some of the past earthquakes, sort of a list of past seismic activity in or around Alaska. I'm kind of sorting through it, seeing if there's any sort of correlation to what's been happening lately underneath the earth. Is something ramping up, or is this just business as usual? Is this the earth being normal and doing what it normally does? Now, the Gulf of Alaska does sit at a boundary of two large tectonic plates, with the landmass sitting over the North American plate, while coastal areas are over the Pacific plate. And so this massive 9.2 quake that occurred back in the 1960s was indeed caused by the Pacific Plate jolting under the North American plate. And it was the second largest quake ever recorded in the world. So what happened this morning, it could have been much bigger. Thankfully it wasn't, but still a very scary event. Is there a correlation, guys, with what we spoke about occurring in yesterday's video? Tell me what you think down below. And also, before we go, I am set, barring any other sort of hiccups that could maybe change this, we are set to do the interview with Mr. Jeremy Corbell as well as Bob Lazar, who's the focus of a new documentary coming out in a few days. So we're going to be doing the Skype interview tomorrow, again, barring any other hiccups, but I'll have that uploaded likely tomorrow evening. I'll get it up as soon as possible. So stay tuned for that. Very exciting times. Also, I want you guys to know that there are a few seats and tickets available for the live premiere of this new film. Again, happening at the theater at the Ace Hotel in Los Angeles. This is going to be a one-time historical event. It would be a crime for you to miss this premiere. So if you are in the area and you want to come and see this new film in person at this beautiful theater, again, I am doing my best to make it there myself. Check out the link down below, go and grab your tickets, and be a part of history. Those of you in Alaska, I hope you're safe. If you are, tell me down below what your experience was with what happened this morning, and I will see you guys back in just a bit.